When did you feel that, okay, I mean, Bioniq, or what was the initiative of the birth of Bioniq?
The initiative was called aha moment, where as a founder you want to scratch your own itch. That means you go into the market and you have a personal experience, and you realize that what you're experiencing is not something you're satisfied with, and you want to find, is there a solution in the market? So in my case, I didn't feel physically or cognitively as well that I thought I should be feeling at an age of 32 with my resources.
Okay.
I wanted to research more what's going on in the market, start talking to doctors. After speaking to doctors, realized that traditional medicine does not support people who want to optimize themselves. They're more interested on healing people once they're sick.
Correct.
And when I realized that healthcare is more sick care, and what I'm trying to do is innovatively more
It's
stronger.
more reactive, not prevention.
And this is the moment where I realized that there's a gap in the market I would like to take.
And then how did you actually initiate? Because you didn't have a medical background. Then how did you initiate Bioniq? And because it was a supplement industry, right? You were actually doing personalized supplements.
No, that's not how it works. When I realized,
how did that journey actually start? That this is the idea that actually I've come, and this is where I need to build a business from my passion.
That's also not the case. A little bit different, because if you want to understand a journey, the journey is not you have a bad experience with a doctor, you create a product. That's not how the journey works. The way a journey works is you have a bad experience, you find out, was this a one-off bad experience? Is it something that is pandemic in terms of other people also like this? Is it something that's geographically, maybe it's better in the UK, maybe better in Germany, maybe it's better in the US? What's in the market out there currently? What solutions are there for optimization? Can I use those solutions? I tried those solutions. When I used those solutions just were not aligned with my belief system in terms of, there's companies out there who do the diagnostics aspect, but they do not give you any solutions. So they tell you what's wrong with you, but they don't tell you what to do. Then there's companies who give you a solution, but you don't know if the solution, what they give to you, is actually matching your body's needs or your goals. Nobody ever connected those kind of things together. And from that perspective is a little bit where I thought there is a gap. And if somebody can come up in the market and be innovatively enough and be able to combine the diagnostics aspect with a solution and combine those two things and create a feedback loop for the user, so the user knows what he's doing from a solution perspective, how it works, then there might be something out there. So that's how it started. I knew that there was a gap. I didn't know how to cross that gap yet, but I knew that there's a gap out there that somebody has to cross.
And that's when you said, let me build a product around that gap.
This is when I said, let me research what could become the platform from a diagnostic solutions perspective. And this was when, during the research aspect, I met a neuroscientist who for 7 years did clinical trials in Switzerland.
Wow.
And he did clinical trials for cognitive and physical improvement for Olympic athletes. And what he was able to showcase in clinical trials was that if provided tailor-made supplementation, that is micronutrients, which is vitamins and microelements, to Olympic athletes, you could reduce the sick days by 10 days per year.
Wow.
And reduction of sick days per 10 days per year would improve cognitive and physical capabilities in standardized tests from 6.9% for standardized tests for physical capabilities to 150% cognitive. And I was so taken aback because as a former athlete, improvement levels of 6.9% physically is unheard of. And if it comes from supplementation, something that seems very, very basic, then the idea was like, how come it's so high? And what the papers explained was because the dosages are personalized and because the dosages change over time, it will adjust to the body's needs and goals. And this is the reason why the person can perform better. And my question to the person was like, hey, if you can improve 7% Olympic athletes, how much can you improve regular people?
Regular people.
And he said 35 to 50%. And this is the moment where I was like,
that was unheard of.
And I was like, okay, this is something I would like to try. So this is 2017, 2018, I did a trial with 40 members. After doing the trial, I asked feedback on those 40 members. One of those members was the head of performance for the UFC, which is out of Nevada in the US.
Okay.
And I was invited out to fly to the headquarters in Las Vegas and met with the senior vice president of the UFC.
Okay.
And after they reviewed my product, they said they've never seen a product like this anywhere in the world. This is end of 2018, and this was my final push.
There was no product at that moment.
And this is when I launched Bioniq 2019 in January in London.
Okay.
And that's when everything took off.
And what was the reason that you launched it in London only?
So London was the foundation for it. London has several benefits. London, from a legal perspective, it's a very, very good setup legally. It's also a good setup from a company perspective. It's very easy to set up. There's a lot of support for founders in the UK. It's also very good to expand globally because it's the English language, obviously, and then you have very easy easy transition into the US market out of the UK market. And they had very good laws around regulations and for supplementation, which allowed us to mix in London and ship our product globally. So we manufacture in Switzerland, but we mix in London and ship globally.
So what was the market size in London at that moment for the supplement industry?
I mean, if you look at the UK market, probably in billions, we're talking about 1.5 billion a year. But because from day one, we're a global company, would ship globally right away. The global market is around 250 billion, which is a growing CAGR of probably 9%. So it'll be by 400 billion in this decade. So I knew right away that the market size was big enough for us. The question is, would people be open to personalization as much as we believe they are?
Yeah.